welcome to NAIJA. My name is John Obizo, but this is a new episode. On this particular episode, we'll be talking about landlord and tenant palaver. Now, we're talking about something that has been really recurring. If you're a legal practitioner or a real estate consultant or something, you notice there's a matter that is recurrent in Lagos and a lot of other places now. It's the fact that landlords are now taking laws into their hands. Like, you see a tenant complain that the landlord just came and removed his roof, or that, oh, I'm owing rent, and the next thing, my landlord just locked up my house, or he called boys to come and pack my things out. Landlords are now taking laws into their hands, and you ask the question, where are we going to? It's really a very crazy thing, actually, for you as a landlord to, like, because your tenant is owing you rent, you now call a carpenter. He will now enter the compound and remove the roof of the tenant. Many a times we keep emphasizing the need to actually stick to the legal ways of doing things. By the end of the day, every one of us goes to do it in our mind. As a landlord, if your tenant breaches any of the obligation or the terms of a tenancy agreement, you have remedies. There's a procedure to actually seek those remedies and actually get redress. If it is such that, for rent, for example, you can engage a lawyer to actually do what? To write a demand notice for your rent. Where he fails to honor the demand notice, you can give a reminder. Well, after giving reminders, you do what? You give him necessary statutory notices. And after that, you go to court, file and ask for recovery of premises. At the end of the day, you find out that you even gain. The court will still, once far there is merit in your action, the court will still grant your claim and possibly grant you cost. But no, every time we go on do it in their mind. You go on show say now you be a landlord, now you get power. These days, both in Lagos and a lot of other places now, a landlord will call a carpenter, you enter, you remove the roof. Sometimes the landlord will carry you to police station and say that he's not paying rent, that he's right on undertaking. The truth of the matter is, all these things are what we call self-help. The various recovery of premises laws and tenancy laws have stipulated what we need to do for you to actually recover your premises, or to, yes, in the case where a tenant is owing you rent, there are things you need to do. Follow the statutory notices and demand, like I said, demand notice, statutory notices, and if he is still a stubborn tenant, you go to court and seek redress and all that. Not engaging a lawyer, not engaging hoodlums to come and break into the house and carry property or remove the roof. It puts you at risk. First of all, without even considering the legal implication, it puts you in a very, very dicey situation. Because now, imagine you remove my roof, water can't fall, it can't soak on my property. Wallahi, I'm going to drag you. First of all, have you heard of what is called malicious damage? For landlord, you can actually be culpable for malicious damage. You can even be culpable criminally and in a civil liability, because by the time you damage the property, there's now what we call trespass. Until a tenancy is determined, a tenant has a right of possession on that property. So if you come in, even as the landlord, there's a way you come into the property, it will amount to trespass. Yes. Now, so imagine you remove the roof and the property damage. He can go to the police to complain that yes, he doesn't know these are armed robbers. What will you explain? You say that he's owing you money. You can be liable for malicious damage. You can be liable, they can even tell me it's robbery or anything. And for some reason, there may be justification to tell me so, because the fact actually established sin. So, I don't know why landlords will always want to do this. If you are aggrieved as a landlord, seek redress, engage a lawyer. He will advise you and you brief him properly. You take the necessary step. If you're a tenant who your landlord has removed your roof or actually locked you inside or taken any of these steps, you can actually brief a lawyer properly, give him the necessary facts. He will know what to do, both when it comes to criminal proceedings and civil proceedings. Because first of all, let me say something. I am not encouraging you as tenant not to pay your rent. As tenant, you have an obligation to pay rent, subject to the agreement you have with your landlord. If you know you have a problem with your rent, approach your landlord and have that conversation with your landlord and tell your landlord, okay, Oga, I will pay you this. You can send a notice, you can have it written, you can be orally, but I always advise you always write everything down. Now, if yes, he doesn't agree, you find a way to start going out of the property. But if your landlord, after taking the steps and you're still trying to find a way to resolve, takes any of these acts of self-help, because I call them self-help. Self-help is you taking laws into your hands, doing what you want to do. The case of Ojukwu and military administrator of Lagos State is very, very clear. The law clearly frowns at self-help. Now, self-help, like I said, is you taking laws into your own hand and do what you want to do. Then after that, you now come to the court to come and say the court should help you. The court will actually tell you emphatically that yes, Baba, you have taken laws into your hands. And for every time you take laws into your hand, there must be consequences. So, dear tenant, if your landlord has taken laws into his hands and locked you inside or removed your roof, engage a lawyer. Let him file. The lawyer will take a necessary step like filing a complaint at the police, while also taking an action in court, either for breach of fundamental rights or trespass to property, depending on how your claim or how the cause of action arises or what happens particularly. There will be remedies. There will be actually damages for that. But like I said, tenants, do what you're supposed to do. Perform your obligation. It mustn't always be because of rent. Sometimes tenants actually breach the user covenant. But like I said, notwithstanding the breach, there are remedies landlords can actually employ. Just engage a lawyer, brief a lawyer accordingly, and he will take the necessary steps. But taking laws into your hands, there are consequences, and you must pay for it. And one of the ways you can pay for it is you may end up actually suffering a criminal litigation against you or civil proceeding against you, and you may, at the end of the day, you may be paying damages even far more heavier than even what would have been paid as rent. So follow the necessary steps, do what you need to do. Tenants, you have a remedy in case your landlord has taken all these actions. Engage a lawyer and it will be resolved. My name is Aro John Obizoba, aka Oga John. This is Law to NAIJA. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and keep the word out there. If you have a comment, drop it in the comment section. We're ready to respond to you. Ciao.